Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Reza Athallah, and I would like to present about implementation of monitoring instrument on environmental permits on business activities in the Citarum River Flow area. So the first one is the concept of environmental administration law enforcement. Administrative law enforcement covers two things: supervision and enforcement of sanction. Monitoring here is intended as a preventive step to always obey the applicable rule, while the application of sanction itself is a repressive step to enforce compliance. The second slide is the concept of environmental permits and business permit. One form of environmental pollution control is an environmental permit issued by the government. According to Law Number 32 of 2009 concerning environmental protection and management and carrying out various development activities, must really pay attention to environmental aspect in order to avoid environmental and pollution damage. This is manifested in business activities that have an impact on the environment, which is obtaining business permits, environmental permit prerequisites that are required in which there is an analysis on environmental impact and so on. The environmental permit itself is regulated in Article 1, Number 32, Law Number 32, Year 2009, which read, "A permit is given to every person who carried out business or activity that is obliged to have an AMDAL or UPL in the framework of environmental protection and management as prerequisite for obtaining a permit. The substance of environmental permits is formally regulated in Article 36 to Article 41 of Law Number 32 of 2009 concerning environmental protection and management, and is further regulated in Government Regulation Number 27 of 2012 concerning environmental permit. So the implementation of supervision of environmental permit. The Chitarum watershed as a national strategic area is an area that has complex problems. This can be proven by the point of industrial estate along the Citarum watershed in Bandung Regency, where there are approximately 1,259 industries located in the area. The main type of industries in the Citarum watershed Bandung Regency is the textile industry, which 152 industries followed by any other industries. Electroplating as many as 5 industries. Chemical industry as many as 4 industries and other industries. These industries produce ordinary waste or even P3 waste that doesn't meet quality standard, which is one of the causes of pollution that makes the water quality of the Citarum River decrease. Environmental permit as an administrative instrument in pollution control provide various kind of terms and conditions in protecting the environment so that pollution and damage doesn't occur in the environment. The purpose of the licensing itself is the first one is to desire to direct certain activities, permit to prevent harm to the environment, the desire to protect certain object, permit to share small item, permits to give direction by selecting people and activities where the administrator must meet certain conditions. The management in fulfilling certain requirement become the object of the supervision of a four environmental supervisory official in the Citarum watershed. Furthermore, the paradigm that must be possessed by all parties is that in every business activity it must be first adjusted to a content, namely a special plan, so that in preventing pollution and environmental damage, it is necessary to pay attention to the law on spatial planning, one of which is responsible for producing an administrative plan. Based on UPPLH, space utilization permits are not directly stated as the basis for the process of obtaining environmental permit, but based on Article 15 of the Regulation of the Minister of Environment of the Republic of Indonesia Number 8 of 2013 concerning produce procedure for assessment and inspection of environmental document and issuance of environmental permit. It is stated that one of the environmental eligibility criteria are spatial planning according to statutory provision. This shows that spatial planning directly acts as a preliminary permit, where conceptually the principle of early prevention is realized through a space of utilization permit. While environmental permits are more of an application of the precautionary principle in the law of environmental management and protection after the issuance of an environmental permit as a prerequisite for obtaining a business license and therefore to supervise the compliance of the business person in charge of the environmental permit is required. Supervision constraint on environmental permit. As instrument of prevention, supervision and licensing are administrative legal instrument in preventing environmental damage. However, the UU-PPLH itself doesn't provide a general explanation regarding supervision. Whereas, in the Article 5 of Law Number 21 year 2011 concerning the formation of legislative regulation states that one of the principles in the formation of law is that the principle of general clarity. The absence of a definition of supervision in UU-PPLH is an obstacle that make it unclear the aim and objective of the supervision, which is this case is UU-PPLH. Furthermore, the lack of environmental supervisory official in West Java is a further obstacle in implementing monitoring instrument for the environmental permit for entrepreneurs who will make use of the resources in the Citarum watershed. Even the West Bandung Regency Environmental Services currently doesn't have an environmental supervisor officer. This has implication for the number of cases of pollution and environmental damage, which stop at the imposition of administrative sanction only if there is pollution and damages in the Citarum watershed, which is quite serious, which requires sanction that punish legal object, namely criminal sanction. This is because the environmental supervisory officer, in addition to carrying out the supervisory function, also has the authority to follow up on finding in the field by stopping certain violation. This problem was then exacerbated by the issuance of Government Regulation Number 24 of 2018 concerning electronically integrated business licensing services through government policies, namely online single submission. This government regulation aims to accelerate and cut the cumbersome and time-consuming licensing bureaucracy and accelerate investment growth. But the problem that arises later, this government regulation has taken the authority of governor and region mayor in granting and issuing permit, which later the authority to issue this permit is issued by the OSS institution as a non-ministerial government agency that administers government affairs in the field of investment coordination. Acceleration of licensing for economic consideration is only felt for the economic developer itself, but on the other hand, this acceleration is not in accordance with the purpose of the license itself as an instrument of control from the government for business sector who have the potential to pollute the environment. Even according to this government regulation, it allows business actor to start its business activities even though permit hasn't been issued. These business actors are only charged with the commitment to fulfill the licensing requirements so that legally the commitment according to this government regulation can be used as a legal basis for business actor to start their business activities without conducting a first possible analysis of potential pollution and environmental damage that can generate both throughout the environment in Indonesia and especially in the Citarum watershed. So the conclusion is, it can be said that supervision in management science is absolutely necessary as an effort to control the problem that arise in achieving a goal, and the implementation of a program without being followed by good and continuous supervision will cause various problems so that a goal to be achieved is obstructed. Based in supervision related to environmental permits in the Citarum watershed is the lack of existing environmental supervisory officer, so that the monitoring process itself is hampered due to the absence of an environmental supervisory officer. The role of the environmental supervisor officer in upholding environmental law in UU-PPLH is very important, as an expert who knows the technicalities of violation in the field that have occurred. The absence of an environmental supervisory officer will hinder the running of supervision. Besides that, Government Regulation Number 24 2019 needs to be reviewed due to licensing problem. We should be controlling the action of business sector, but business sector can start their activities without having to wait for an exit permit and only require a commitment. which is not good for the environment. So that's all for me. Thank you very much.